It's July 25th, 2026. The US-Iran war is 5 months old. The Strait of Hormuz is still choked, and in 6 months, more than 40 countries, representing over 1.5 billion voters, go to the polls. This is where both stories are headed next. Right now, the war is stuck in what analysts are calling a hostile truce. A ceasefire exists on paper, but Iran and the US are both still seizing ships in the strait. Diplomacy collapsed in late April. Brent crude is sitting near $95 to $101 a barrel, up 40% since the war began. The Pentagon says it needs 6 months just to clear mines from Hormuz. Here's the structural pressure building underneath that stalemate. The US War Powers Act gives a president 60 days to get congressional authorization. That deadline has passed. It forces Congress in an election year to either formally authorize the war or let the pressure build. At the same time, the Federal Reserve just delivered its most divided vote in years, 11-1 to hold rates. Powell explicitly named Iran as one of 4 active supply shocks driving inflation. The ECB is frozen too. That's the textbook definition of stagflation, central banks that can't cut because inflation is too high. So what's the forecast? The report's own base case is a managed de-escalation track. Roughly 45% probability of a negotiated opening of Hormuz by early summer, mediated through Pakistan, Oman, and China. The second scenario, at 40%, is a prolonged hostile standoff that drags past mid-2026. The tail risk scenario, full resumption of open war, is put at 15%. The report's most specific call is a final ceasefire dated June 24, 2026, preceded by strikes on Iran's nuclear sites around June 21st, framed as the last test of nerve. What matters for the forward view is the pattern it describes: a spike, then a snapback. Oil falling 15 to 25% in days once a ceasefire holds. Equity markets rally sharply on the reopening, particularly oil import-dependent economies like India, because markets had already priced in a worse outcome. Even after a ceasefire, don't expect a straight line. The report flags a second phase of turbulence. From late July through the end of the year, the cost of the war gets tallied: military spending and damaged alliances. Only by late August does the report expect the pieces, like a sanctions relief schedule, to potentially lock into place. Now overlay that with the election calendar. Hungary already delivered the year's biggest surprise. Viktor Orban was defeated in April by a unified opposition, confirming a broader pattern. Incumbents are under real pressure almost everywhere in 2026. From here to year-end, watch 5 races. Zambia votes August 13th, Sweden votes September 13th. Polling shows the center-left within reach. Russia's Duma election on September 20th is the outlier. The ruling party is expected to retain its supermajority. Brazil's presidential election, October 4th and 25th, is a genuine coin flip. The report gives Lula a slim edge, 52 to 48. Then there's Israel. Israel, with elections due by October 27th, is the one to watch most closely for energy markets. Netanyahu is under record low approval. The report puts the odds of him losing power at roughly 2 in 3. That change would matter directly for how the Gaza and Iran files get handled next. Then the big one, US midterms, November 3rd. The report's central case is a clear Democratic recapture of the House. Call it 70 to 75% likely, which would immediately constrain Trump's foreign policy and reopen the debate on tariffs and NATO funding. That single outcome is flagged as the most consequential electoral event of the year for global markets. Put the 2 threads together and you get one story: entrenched leaders are running out of runway. At the same time, energy markets are being forced to reprice risk. The bet embedded across this whole framework is that de-escalation, not escalation, wins out. But it's a narrow bet, and the next 6 weeks of diplomacy will tell you which scenario you're actually living in. Stay informed. Thank you for watching.